Psychologist Claude Steele of Stanford University studies the effect labeling and stereotypes can have on a person's ability to perform in a given situation. He calls this phenomenon stereotype threat.
Stereotype threat, it is a situational threat. It's usually tied to the social aspects of the situation you're in, and it's just the sense that you could be judged in terms of some stereotype about an identity that you have, your racial identity, your age, your sex.
We don't have to believe in a stereotype. Merely knowing that others could judge us because of our social identity is enough to distort our performance. One of the pivotal studies Steele conducted was testing women's performance when compared to men on standardized math exams.
There is in our society a stereotype that women have a limited ability to perform especially difficult math. And so a woman taking a difficult standardized exam in math, when she experiences frustration, that stereotype becomes relevant as a possible interpretation of the frustration, both for her and for anybody who's going to see or interpret her performance. And that makes the experience of taking the test different for her than it does for a man in precisely the same situation.
Hi, are you two here for the psych study?
Our interest there was to see if you brought women and men who were both very skilled in math and very dedicated to being good at math into the laboratory and you gave them a very difficult math test, how would they perform? Our prediction was that the women would not perform as well as the men because they would be under stereotype threat. The men wouldn't be in this situation. And that's exactly what happened. Our prediction is that if you could turn the spotlight of stereotype threat off, their performance should go up to match that of equally skilled men in this situation. We take the threat out of the situation in a very simple, straightforward way. Just before people get ready to take the test, we sit them down and say, on this particular test, this is not a test that's capable of discriminating between men and women's performance. It never has, it never will. The stereotype is now almost magically made irrelevant to her performance here. And when we create that situation, women's performance goes up dramatically on this test to match that of equally skilled men in this situation. So that's the kind of evidence we use to give us a sense of how this process, the stereotype threat phenomenon, just being subject to being seen that way, can actually affect a very important performance in a person's life.
In the view of Alfred Binet, intelligence is a dynamic cognitive process. But unfortunately,